University of Mississippi.
From Arlington, Texas, it's Game 2 of today's tripleheader from the Shriners Children's College Showdown. Today, two of the power conferences collide as the Ole Miss Rebels out of the SEC square off against the Clemson Tigers from the ACC. The Rebels are playing for a winning weekend, while the Tigers are looking for a perfect start to their 2025 season. Good afternoon and welcome to Globe Life Field alongside Ty Harrington. I'm Brain Freeman. Ty, let's start with a team that has yet to lose a game this week, and the Tigers, they've gotten really offensive. Clemson, 22 runs scored through 2 games.
Well, I tell you what, Coach Bakich talked about at the beginning, before any of these games, that he felt like he had an elite lineup and a great team, and they have done nothing but show that for the first 2 games in this tournament.
As for Ole Miss, a win in the opener on Friday, but last night a tough loss for the Rebels, getting run ruled by Texas. How do they bounce back?
They bounce back. It's baseball. I mean, you don't know any different. They've been taught this from the get-go. It's part of this game. You're not going to win every game. You learn how to, get away from it and move to the next one.
Taking a look at the Ole Miss lineup presented by Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere. Here's the order 1 through 9 today for head coach Mike Bianco. Hayden Federico making his debut today for Ole Miss, followed by Luke Hill, Judd Udemark, top third of the order. Middle third, Ryan Moorman, Isaac Humphrey, and Austin Foley. And the order routed out by Mitchell Sanford, Colin Reuter, and Luke Chang for the Rebels here today. And they'll be facing Clemson left-hander Justin Legurnick. Was a reliever for the Tigers a year ago. 9 appearances, 8 of those came in relief. Had just 1 start in 2024. Only pitched 6 2/3 innings. And he gets a Sunday start for the Tigers here this afternoon. Into the box for the Rebels, Hayden Federico, the DH. The freshman from West Monroe, Louisiana. 3-time first-team All-State player at high school. His first at-bat as a Rebel. And takes the first pitch for a strike from Legurnick. Ole Miss opened the tournament with a 2-1 win over Arizona on Friday. Starting pitcher Hunter Elliott was brilliant, making his return to the mound in nearly 2 years. 5 scoreless innings, got the win. But last night, Ole Miss got run ruled by Texas 10-0. The offense has been hard to come by for the Rebels in their stay in Arlington. Just 2 runs in 2 games, only 8 hits so far. That ball smoked to right field and a base hit for Federico in his first at-bat representing Ole Miss.
How about that? First time right out of the box, right? You get inserted in the lineup, not only into the lineup, Brent, but how about leading off? Gets an 0-2 pitch in the middle of the part of the plate, looking to try to hit the ball the other way. Does exactly that. And missiles the ball to right field. I know his dad would be awfully proud of him with his first collegiate hit as well.
Something you noticed, Ty, in the lineup, a lot of changes today for Mike Bianco.
Yep, 3 of them. 3 guys that haven't played so far this weekend. A lot of that's by design, and then sometimes it's by opportunity.
Now the batter, Luke Hill, 2 for 6 with a run batted in so far this weekend. Hit better than .320 a year ago. The junior from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, swings and misses and falls behind 0-2. Pitch and misses inside.
Just an early look so far. We're going to get a replay of this. You talking about an intimidating, just an edge inside 92. Looked like it might have clipped the black part of the plate. Close call. Tough to take that pitch. Well, I tell you what, for those left-handers who can drive that ball in the inner half to right-handed hitters, Brand, it makes it tough on them to start trying to look away, and they start powdering that thing in on top of you.
And Hill's worked the count full for down 0-2 to a 3-2 count. This Rebel program coming off a 27-win campaign from a year ago. And not too far removed from the national championship run back in 2022. That's grounded foul. As now we take a look at the defense for the Clemson Tigers here this afternoon. Behind pitcher Justin Legurnick. Dominic Listy, Cam Canarella, Tristan McCloud in the outfield. Infield defense of Josh Pano, Andrew Chufo, Jaron Purify, and Luke Gaffney. And the catchers Jacob Gerald. Draws a walk. And the first 2 have reached for Ole Miss here in the first.
I like the aggressiveness. They started the runner both times on full count, trying to create a little bit of action in the infield, maybe create a hole on the infield, but just kind of, you talked about at the beginning, right? How do you get over yesterday, right? Well, sometimes when you get to the beginning of your order, you got a guy on full count, you know the pitcher's trying to throw a strike. Let's start the game. Let's put the game in motion. It's exactly what they did, and they ended up drawing a walk out of it.
Now the junior from Charlotte, North Carolina, Judd Udemark, making his second straight start at third base. Started opening day in the outfield for Ole Miss. And takes ball 1 from Legurnick. And now Gerald comes out to visit with his pitcher.
Yeah, this is just a little bit of, hey, slow down. Let's calm down, slow down. Let's get back to what we did. You know, the first 2 pitches he threw were really crisp. He goes fastball, get started, a breaker off of that was good, and then he threw the ball back in the middle part of the plate to Federico. It allowed him to get that, 2-strike hit, but then he walks the next guy. So that's just, hey, catch your breath, breathe a little bit. Let's make good pitches.
Two on, nobody out, the 2-0. A foul tip strike runs the count to 2-1. Udemark 2 for 6 with a double so far this weekend. Fouls off another one.
I like the 2-0 swing. I mean, look, he was looking for a certain area. Got geared up for it, just missed it. But an aggressive style, trying to get his team going, trying to come up with a big hit. Runners in scoring position early here in the first inning.
Legurnic's 2-2. Heart of the plate, strike 3. First out of the inning. Udemar goes down looking.
Brand, I think he just locked him up. I think he was looking for something secondary, a breaker, change up, and he just drills that heater in on the inner half of the plate. We talked about it early. If they can just drive that ball to the third base side of home plate against right-handed hitters, it's tough on them because a lot of times with 2 strikes, they're trying to look for something away from them, something secondary away to try to hit the other way.
That ball drilled deep to left by Ryan Moorman at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. 3-run homer, Ryan Moorman. The Rebels' second home run of the weekend, and Ole Miss strikes first.
He gets an elevated pitch, and he does not miss it. I'll tell you, that's what the beauty of college hitters, when they get something elevated. Look at that, right at the chin of the catcher's mask. He gets right at the bottom half of it. He knew it too as soon as he hit it, and he did hit it a long ways. And again, this goes back to you talking about Ole Miss trying to flip the page and move on. Nothing more like having your RBI guy step up there in the first inning to get your team going with a 3-run homer.
The other home run for the Rebels this weekend, courtesy of Isaac Humphrey. He bats now. And the first pitch in there for a strike. Ole Miss had 76 home runs a season ago, ranked 12th in the SEC. On the ground is short. Chufo, long throw, not in time.
One of the tough pieces of playing in a shift defense, when your shortstop has to go to the deepest part of the park, he hits this away from him, fastball away, gets a little top spin right out of the dirt, presses that shortstop. Look how far back he's got to go get it at an angle. Boy, it's just tough on a shortstop to come up and try to make that play.
4 of the first 5 batters have reached for Ole Miss. A tough offensive 2 days for the Rebels to start the tournaments. Very offensive first inning here as Foley comes up, and now a run down and a throw down to second base, and Humphrey is gunned down.
Well, Ole Miss trying to stay aggressive. They get a base hit. They've got some momentum. Trying to steal second base here early. Clemson does a good job of sniffing it out, knowing that that's an opportunity or a possibility. They do a good job with a pickoff move and the execution of the throw and tag.
A swing and a miss by Foley, making his second straight start for Ole Miss. First-year transfer from Kentucky. A lot of transfers in this year's Ole Miss team. 10 transfers added over the offseason. You throw in the freshman class, ranked as the 4th best in the country by D1 Baseball. Rebels have locked and reloaded here in 2025. As Foley takes a strike.
Man, I tell you what, Gaffney did a good job on that pickoff play. He recognized runner going to on the pickoff throw. Flum the Gurnick, he steps and catches it, creates a little bit of space between him and the runner so he could throw it to second. It's a tough play, a lot tougher than people can know about it because you're trying to create an angle to throw in.
And Foley flies out to right to Tristan McCladdy. But the Rebels have struck first in Arlington. Ryan Moorman, a 3-run homer. And Ole Miss is on top of Clemson 3-0 here in Game 2 of the day.
Possibility. At Shriners Children's, we deliver healing to kids with critical burn injuries, like game-changing advances in regenerative medicine and creating the highest standard of care. We never allowed your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs proving time and again what's possible by empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Shot by Farrington, and it goes home. North Texas has come all the way back. The dream continues for Bernard Kamungo. All aboard the choo-choo train. Ricardo Pepi.
Possible Missions and their dedicated Amagi business banker work together to put the us in business banking by sharing the same values both in the office and out in the community. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amagi business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, by being a true community partner. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
And welcome back to Globe Life Field. Now look at the Clemson batting order presented by Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere. Dominic Listy, Luke Gaffney, Cam Canarella, top third for the Tigers. Josh Pano, Colin Priest, a former Michigan Wolverine. Jacob Gerald in the middle third of the order. And Tristan McClowney, Jaron Purify, and Andrew Chufo for head coach Eric Bakich here this afternoon. And on the mound for the Rebels, Mason Nichols, 15 appearances this past season, 6 starts, 31 2/3 innings pitched. He was 4-1 with his sub-4 ERA back in 2024.
He's been a bullpen guy. He's been a starter. He's been a Rebel for 4 years. One of those guys that company guy. He's been involved with a program. On Sundays, if you've got a senior out there, you got to feel pretty good about your chances of getting a good start and a good quality start to the game.
And his offense has provided him an early 3-0 lead. The Ryan Moorman 3-run homer off of Justin Legurnick has put the Rebels on top as Listy leads off here for the Tigers. Really productive weekend so far for Listy. 4 for 7. He's driven in 5 and he's scored 4 times. Speaking of offensive first innings, Clemson yesterday and the win over Arizona, a 7-run first inning for the Tigers in what was a 16-5 win. Listed the first-year transfer from Indiana State. Was second team all-conference a year ago as a Sycamore. That ball drilled up the middle. Andrew Chufo makes a play for Ole Miss for the first out of the inning.
I'll tell you what, Chang does a good job on this. It's a line drive, and it starts to sink on him, and he's got to catch this with his fingers turned down. That's not an easy catch because you end up catching that in the palm of your glove. He does a good job of watching it in there and two-hand catches it. Instead of turning his hand down using his web, does a good job of staying with that ball.
Yes, Luke Chang making the play for Ole Miss. Had the wrong defensive card pulled up as Luke Gaffney comes up now for Clemson. First pitch, he takes high for ball 1. Luke Gaffney 1 for 9 with a double and a run batted in here in opening weekend. The first-year transfer from Purdue. Takes that pitch. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
You're talking about transfer from Indiana State. Now, I think my college teammate Greg Swindell shot me a text earlier today, and I think Indiana State scored 20 runs in 1 inning earlier today in the game.
Wow. Swing and a miss. That's a strike. A lot of offensive innings yesterday. Tigers that 7-run first and an 8-run 9th inning. Saw Texas put up 7 in the 4th against Ole Miss last night.
Well, what Texas did last night, they were opportunistic in that moment, right? They got the hits. to get it started. They took their walks in the middle of it as well, didn't get over anxious, and the guys that are RBI guys for them came through. I mean, that's an opportunistic offensive moment for them early in the year.
3-1 pitch, fought off foul. Louisville got really offensive earlier today in their win over Arizona, a 13-1 run rule for the Cardinals. They had an 8-run fifth inning. And later tagged on 5 runs in the 8th. Full count to Gaffney. And Nichols has his first strikeout of the afternoon.
Yikes, you talking about dialing up a 3-2 heater away on the edge of the plate, just dotting it out there at 92 miles an hour. That is fastball command. Look at that, right in that lower window, outer half of the plate. Even if you swing at it, tough to put it and barrel it up and put it in play with authority, but what a great pitch.
2 up, 2 down for Nichols here in the first, and out of the plate, Cam Cantarella. 4 hits so far the weekend, 3 of them doubles for the preseason All-American. A couple of years ago, Cantarella, the ACC Freshman of the Year.
I loved playing baseball. I truly did. But if I could make the game as easy as he plays it, makes it look, I mean, this guy is so athletic. I mean, you watch him around the ball, he glides everywhere. He flies around the bases, tremendous bat speed, covers the plate with his barrel. I would have had a lot more fun playing it like he does, or like he can.
We spoke about this on Friday. Clemson played Florida, the Super Regionals this past year. What a series that was. And Cantarella had one of the big hits. A game-tying 3-run homer in the 9th inning last year against the Gators. Here grounds to Reuter at first base. He covers the bag. And Nichols navigates through the Tigers' top part of the order in order. We played 1 in Arlington. Ole Miss on top of Clemson 3-0 here on Flow College.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Elevate your ballpark experience with a tour of Globe Life Field and experience the home of the Texas Rangers like never before. Go behind the scenes and explore premium spaces, unique club settings, luxury suites, and more. Along the way, you'll discover rich history, impressive architecture, and fun photo opportunities around every corner. Globe Life Field's many tour offerings are sure to take your ballpark visit to the next level. For more information and to book your experience, visit globelifefield.com.
Welcome back to Globe Life Field in Arlington. Ole Miss on top of Clemson 3-0. Now time for a coach's interview presented by Shriners Children's. We are joined by Mike Bianco, the head coach for the Ole Miss Rebels. Coach, we spoke earlier about your newcomer class this season, 10 transfers, an impressive freshman class. The combined class ranked 10th in the country by Baseball America. What was the biggest point of emphasis for you in recruiting over the offseason?
Well, you know, certainly when you talk about the transfer portal, you're trying to, plug and play guys that, can fill the holes. And when you look at our outfield, it's made up of 3 older guys from, Power 5 experience that have had success. And so to kind of finish up our lineup, we wanted to make sure that we went that way. We already knew that we had a really, really good, talented, freshman class. But I think in the portal, we tried to get some older guys. You see Chang today at shortstop from Illinois State, a great defender. So we went, portal, but we went old portal.
Coach, I noticed in line with what you just said, I noticed you got 3 new guys in the lineup. First time in this weekend, a freshman also at the top of the lineup. By design or opportunity, which one going into today?
You know, really by design. You know, one of the things that I've always believed in, you know, in the first weekend and sometimes even before, you know, after that, but especially the first weekend, don't get too emotional. I wrote the lineups out basically on Wednesday, the guys that we wanted to play. Maybe not the exact order. We flip that around sometimes, but, you know, you want to make sure that you don't get emotional. A guy doesn't get a hit and he doesn't play the next day, or the reverse, right? That a guy gets a couple hits, it automatically means he's playing the next day. You know, we all know it's a long season. We got to give some guys some opportunities.
Coach, we chronicled it throughout the weekend, that special run of yours back in 2022. Just how magical was that?
It really was. You know, it was one of those years where it wasn't necessarily a Cinderella story because we started off the year, I think, ranked in the top 5 or top 10, moved up to number 1 about midway through the season for a couple weeks. And then we had a big injury in our lineup to one of our key components of the lineup. And we just didn't play great baseball, to be honest with you. Fell in our league to 7-14, but the guys fought their ways back and, of course, got hot in the postseason.
Mike, congratulations, by the way. 25 years of building up a tremendous program, a national championship. And I got to tell you, I appreciate what you've done for college baseball and your continued success this year.
Well, I appreciate it. You know, kind words. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck the rest of the day.
Thanks so much.
Leadoff walk for Mitchell Sanford. Second walk of the game given up by Justin Legurnick is now Colin Reuter bats here for Ole Miss. Another first-year transfer out of the portal from BYU. A career .256 hitter as a Cougar. His numbers from a year ago: 10 homers and drove in 37. Honorable mention All Big 12 this past season in Provo. And today making his Ole Miss debut. That ball drilled to left field and a base hit for Reuter. And the first 2 of Reese for the Rebels here in the top of the second.
Well, kind of the same, just reverse order of last inning. When they got a base hit, then a walk. Now you got a walk base hit. A nice piece of hitting. Something kind of middle end to him. Is able to hit it over just barely to the right of the shortstop for a base hit. But kind of the same scenario again.
2 on, nobody out for Luke Chang. And now we have a mound visit here for Clemson.
Do it, Chang, do it.
Well, nobody's getting loose in the pen. I think this is just talking about slowing him down a little bit, what he needs to do to the next hitter. Also could be, bottom of the order, do they play, a run and hit and run, or do they drag bunt right here? So you, as a coach, you go out there and you talk about different defensive scenarios that you want to protect again, or just make sure that they're aware of them if it does take place in this at-bat.
After the visit from pitching coach Jimmy Bellinger, Laguna goes to work against Chang.
Yeah, they sacrifice bunt show in the 9-hole position. Sometimes early in the game, you'll see coaches choose on first and second to move the runners into scoring position, getting that lead runner 90 feet away from home plate. If he does bunt, he's going to try to bunt it down the third baseline.
And pushes that at him foul.
And the reason for it, not that you can't bunt it to the right side, but your first baseman has a little freedom. He's not holding the runner, so he can inch in closer. You want the third baseman and the pitcher to have to make a decision who's going to field the ball. And at that point, you feel like the lead runner is going to get to third base, unless they put on a crash play where they're crashing both the third baseman and the first baseman.
Counting down 2 balls and a strike. Top of the order is on deck for the Rebels. A 3-run first inning, threatening for more here in the second. There's a bunt, third base side. Pano throw to first. In time, but a good sacrifice put down by Chang. Moves the runners over for the top of the order.
Well, that is textbook. That's how you do it. You make the third baseman come in and field it. Take the pitcher out of play. Don't bunt it right back to him hard. His only play at that point is going to be at first base. Just an excellent job of sacrifice bunt. Look at him moving middle part of the box. Makes the third baseman come get it. That's execution. You do it all the time in practice, and then you get in the game, it's tougher when you get a guy out there throwing 90 plus and with a good breaker as well.
Here's Federico. Single to score back in the first inning for Ole Miss. His dad, Michael Federico.
Well, I'll tell you what,
coach at ULM.
You better believe it, and a great person, great coach. Competed against him as a coach and knew him as a player, and just top shelf person and a really good baseball guy. And I can imagine that his dad and Hayden have spent a lot of time hitting together and doing a lot of things baseball-wise together.
Up the middle, this is going to be a tough play to first. It's made in time, but it is a productive out for Federico as Sanford scores to make it 4-0 Rebels.
Well, that's why you bunt. You see the benefit now of why you move the guys 90 feet with an excellent sacrifice bunt, because otherwise, if there's runners on first and second and you don't move him over, that's an out at first base with 2 outs and then the runner's just moving over. Instead, now you got a runner scores on a high hopper off the dirt.
Reuter finds himself at third. Now 2 outs for Luke Hill. Swing and a miss for strike one. That ball hit towards right field, and that is going to drop for a base hit for Hill. Got beyond the reach of McClatty. Hill's going to run second, on his way to third with a 2-out RBI triple.
It's an excellent piece of hitting. Ball's away from him, shows off his strength, his abilities to hit the ball the other way. Stayed out over the plate, drove it to right field. Again, McClatty made a great effort trying to get to it, just wasn't quite able to run it down. And I'll tell you another thing too now, running the bases, Hill was running and looking over his right shoulder the whole time, watching the ball ricochet, which is why he knew exactly why he could get to third base.
So Luke Hill the triple with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Judd Udemark. Udemark struck out against Lagernick in his first at-bat. Ball's behind 0-2 here. A 3-run first for the Rebels, and so far 2 runs in here in the second. Early in the inning, we had the chance to visit with Mike Bianco. Talked about his great career, over 900 wins at Ole Miss, most in program history. Over 1,000 wins total in his career. In his first 24 seasons, guiding Ole Miss to 18 NCAA tournaments, and was the 2022 National Coach of the Year.
That's the pitch he hasn't been able to execute enough. He did it early and got a strike call on it, and since then he's thrown maybe 3 out of 4 that have been too far in, not catching the inner half of the plate. And on right-handed hitters, he likes to drive that ball to the inner half on them.
There you see the numbers for Mike Bianco, those 25 seasons, over 900 victories. Winningest and the longest active head coach of the SEC among the three major sports. Over 30 wins in every season except the last two. And he's recorded 40 or more wins 10 times in his first 24 years in Oxford.
While doing that in the toughest conference in college baseball in the SEC. I mean, that's it. That's just so impressive. I get a little nostalgic because I've known him so long, and how hard he's worked at it and the success he's had at Ole Miss.
Udemark drills one deep to left. Forget about it. That's gone. Second home run of the day for the Rebels.
You talking about a no doubter. He lands in the middle of this baseball. He knew it. Everybody knew it. We could see it up here. Left fielder. Listy didn't move. I mean, no doubter.
A 2-out, 2-out homer for Judd Udemark. That is an upper decker. One of the longest home runs we've seen hit this weekend in Arlington. A 4-run inning for Ole Miss. That's going to be it for LeGurnick.
Well, I mean, LeGurnick wasn't able to execute that fastball into the right-handed hitters. Got into some tough counts. I got to tip the hat to Ole Miss. I thought they did a great job in 2 strike counts, battling off some pitches and coming up with some hits, and then obviously coming up with 2 really big blows. And I think it's a little bit of some Ole Miss offense.
We'll step aside with Ole Miss on top 7-0 at the top of the second here in Arlington. And welcome back to Arlington. 7-0 Ole Miss on top. 3 runs in the first on the 3-run homer from Ryan Moorman. 4 runs here in the second. That'll chase Justin LeGurnick out of the game and bring in Jacob McGovern. Good numbers a year ago for the Tigers in 18 1/3 innings, a sub-2 ERA. And he's making his second appearance this weekend. Saw McGovern pitch against Oklahoma State on Friday. 2 innings against the Cowboys, struck out 4, gave up a run. A lot of the offense for Ole Miss coming with 2 outs in the second. A big RBI triple from Luke Hill, followed by the 2-run homer from Udemark. It's 7-0 Rebels on top as Moorman bats for the second time after his massive home run back in the first. Fouled back by Mormon, falls behind 1-2. On the outside corner, Mormon caught looking, and that's going to end the inning, but tie again. How about the home run from Judd Utermark?
Well, how do you answer a tough loss from the night before? You hand it off to the middle of your lineup, and they just absolutely blast some big league home runs in a big league ballpark.
It's the Rebels 7, the Tigers nothing as we go to the bottom of the second for the Shriners Children's College Showdown.
First, at Shriners Children's, the world's most advanced scoliosis procedures are born here. In fact, we deliver access to the world's best doctors for nearly every pediatric orthopedic condition. We're delivering care without compromise is our promise. And kids can just be kids. Because being first always starts with empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
There's an old saying, everything's bigger in Texas. Well, let's just say, IndyCar is about to go to a whole nother level. Get ready, Arlington. This is where history is made, and champions are born.
We head to the bottom of the second, all Ole Miss. Rebels on top 7-0. A 3-run first, a 4-run second for the Rebels. You look into the Tigers dugout. Eric Bakich can now be seen to the dugout for Clemson.
Yeah, I tell you what, there's nobody more excited about being in that dugout than that young man right there. I tell people often one of the most incredible places and spaces in time and in place is a dugout. Some of the things that go on in that place, people would just be astonished, I think. And I'm sure he is happy and proud to be right where he probably feels most comfortable.
Was suspended the first 2 games of the year following his ejection of the Super Regionals against Florida this past year. And in the dugout for the first time in 2025 as his lineup bats in the bottom of the second. Facing Mason Nichols is Josh Pano leading off in the second for Clemson. He'll be followed by Colin Priest and Jacob Gerald. Tigers down in a big way, but again, this team can get very offensive very quickly. We've seen that this weekend. Saw the Tigers erase a 3-run deficit in the win against Oklahoma State on Friday, and the 2 beginnings yesterday against Arizona. That ball smacked to right field and a base hit for Pano. That's his 3rd hit of the weekend.
Well, that's a good ingredient for trying to mount a comeback. You don't want to go up there and everybody try to play hero ball and just start trying to lift balls out of the park. Nice piece of hitting, ball in the middle part of the plate. Just rifles it to right field for a leadoff single.
Brings up Colin Priest for the Tigers. Big game yesterday in the win over the Wildcats. 3 for 5 with a couple of doubles. Drove in 2 and scored twice. The former Michigan Wolverine. Throw gets away from Reuter. Pano on his way to second base for Clemson, and he's there without a throw.
Well, with a 7-run lead, you certainly don't want to make a bad pickoff move. He did. He threw it down at an angle right there, tied up between the runner, got away from him. But as a pitcher now, Nichols, he just got a 7-run lead. Refocus right here. Get back in the strike zone.
Big numbers for Priest. Last year's a freshman in Ann Arbor, named to the Big Ten's all-freshman team a year ago. Priest was in the lineup for the Wolverines when they made their trip to Arlington a year ago. Michigan played in weekend 2 back in 2024 here at Globe Life Field.
Oh, he's a good-looking physical hitter. He's got a lot of presence in that box. Wide stance, spread out just a little bit.
6'3", 245 pounds.
Get a good look at his stance right there. Just spread out, trying to protect a little bit. Already has the power.
Strikes out. Second strikeout for Nichols. And that's the first out of the inning here, the second.
Get a good look at this breaker running underneath him. Good, hard, tight rotation from Nichols. Like to throw that right-handed breaker, Brent, on that left-handed hitter's back foot, because that makes it start in an area that they think is going to be a strike. They get that barrel started, and that baseball just goes and runs and hides from them right under their barrel.
Jacob Jarrell for Clemson takes a strike from Nichols. Jarrell 3 for 8 so far in opening weekend with a couple of runs batted in. This Clemson program coming off a 44-win season from a year ago. Won the ACC regular season title this year, picked to finish 4th in one of the top conferences in the country. Fastball and misses high for ball 2. So many great programs here this weekend. Here in Arlington, and Clemson among them, 7th winningest program in Division I history. They are one of just 10 programs ever with more than 3,000 wins.
Baseball's been important there for a long time. It really has. Obviously, the numbers back it up. Their fans, their crowd, they travel good. Their home crowds are unreal.
.46 all-time appearances in the NCAA tournament for the Tigers, including each of the past 2 seasons. And they made it to the World Series 12 times. Their last trip to Omaha came back in 2010. They were on the doorstep a year ago. Jarrell is on with 1 out in the second, so 2 on, 1 down. Tigers trying to mount a comeback here for head coach Eric Bakich as Tristan McClatty comes up now for Clemson.
Well, just one of those moments as a coach, you try to remind your hitters. We're just trying to cut into it, right? We don't have to get it all in one swing. Obviously, we take it in one swing, but all we want to do, let's just cut into their lead. Let's get some momentum on our side. Let's get some momentum in our dugout.
A ball that strikes to McClatty. Making his second start of the weekend. He started opening day for the Tigers. It was 1 for 4 against Oklahoma State. The sophomore from Harlem, Georgia. On the outside corner for a strike.
A good-looking two-seamer. That ball had a lot of action on it the last 4 or 5 feet. Kind of sinking and running away from McClatty. It's a good take and a great pitch.
Up the middle. Hill from second. Chang from the bag throws to first base for the 4-6-3 twin killing. The Rebels turn 2. Great play by Luke Hill. Watch him feel this. The backhand flip to Chang, the spin to throw to first. Good defense from Ole Miss carries us into the third with the Rebels on top 7-0 over the Clemson Tigers.
Bowman Engineering and Consulting and their dedicated Amagi business banker worked together to put the us in business banking, which included the occasional lunch meeting. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amagi business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, planning sessions whenever you need them. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Arlington, the Renegades are going full throttle this spring when the UFL returns.
What a catch!
Get ready for more action-packed football and unforgettable experiences at Choctaw Stadium.
That is something special right there.
Renegades, mount up and get your tickets today.
And welcome back to Globe Life Field. 7-0 Ole Miss on top of the Clemson Tigers with a tough start for Eric Backage's team. A 3-run first for Ole Miss, a 4-run second. The offense has been shut out through 2 innings. As we head to the top of the third, coming up for Ole Miss, Isaac Humphrey, Austin Foley, and Mitchell Sanford.
Well, they had a little momentum going, a little something going, and the Rebels decide they're going to play some really good defense. What an outstanding double play. They turn ending the possible rally for the Tigers.
Some big hits for the Rebels here today. 3-run homer, Ryan Mormon. 2-run shot, Judd Udemark. Luke Hill at RBI triple. An offense that was held to 2 runs through his first 2 games, has 7 runs through 2 innings here this afternoon as Humphrey steps up. Grounds the first pitch, foul on the first base side. Numbers for Humphrey a year ago at Louisville. 149 starts across 3 seasons as a Cardinal. Swings and misses at the changeup for strike 2.
You don't always see left changeups. You don't, because a lot of times left-handers will save that changeup for the right-handers to throw it on the outer half of the plate. But you just saw back-to-back left-handed changeups to a left-handed hitter on the third base side of home plate, and that's about as good as you can execute them.
Jacob McGovern strikes out Humphrey. He's faced 2 batters and struck them both out. 1 away in the third. McGovern coming in relief of Legurnick back in the second. His stat line final today. Justin Legurnick goes an inning and 2/3. Surrenders 7 earned runs off 6 hits, a strikeout and a couple of walks.
Well, he's got good stuff. He's got better days ahead of him. He's got a lot of season left, and he'll be back out there next weekend, I would assume, and he's got too good of stuff. He's going to be really good for the Tigers throughout the year.
We've got a good game awaiting on deck. The nightcap of the final game of the Shriners Children's College Showdown. Game 3 of a triple-header, Oklahoma State and Texas renewing their longtime Big 12 rivalry.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. 2 really good offensive teams. Both teams yesterday exploding for a lot of offense. But you're right, a lot of old Big 12 history involved, and both teams often at the end of the year competing for the Big 12 championship, and both with unbelievable history and tradition behind both the programs.
Swing and a miss. Foley strikes out. Really good stuff from Jacob McGovern.
Got another great changeup. Now we're going to go the other side of the plate. This is what historically left-handed pitchers will do to right-handed hitters. Take that changeup, hit that thumb and forefinger inside that baseball, pronate through it, make that thing spin and away from them and go down at the same time. That's a good-looking changeup.
Changeup again, this time to Sanford. A swing and miss strike.
those guys that command good changeups, Brent, they'll change the speeds on them. They'll go anywhere from 9 miles an hour off their fastball to about 7, and just kind of choking that ball a little bit more back into their hand, taking a little steam out of it. You can see him, he even grips it with his circle change grip as he goes into his glove. And that's how he sets it up in his glove. Now, obviously, while he's got his hands in the glove, even though he grabs it in a changeup when he goes in, once he gets in there, then he can go to his fastball or his breaker, whichever he's going to choose to pitch.
The 2-1 fouled away by Sanford.
But right now, it's been a changeup. Again, he is varied from 79 back down. That one was 74 miles an hour. Some guys will take their toes in their shoes and squinch them and take the air out of their feet to try to make that ball back up just a little bit more. And those guys that can throw that changeup over and over and over, it is just really tough on those hitters.
Full count to Sanford. And the pitch from McGovern. Just misses the outside corner of the changeup. Sanford's on with the second walk of the day.
A pretty good take right there. That's a close pitch. It's tempting as a hitter, particularly with 2 strikes on you, to get your barrel started. He does a good job of being patient and taking his walk.
And now Reuter from Olive Branch, Mississippi, his first year with Ole Miss. Here's a high pop-up into foul territory. It is playable, and the catch is made. Catch is made by Chufo. What a play. Andrew Chufo running out of room in foul ground, able to reach over the railing and make the catch.
It left a little gear over there too with his sunglasses. Let me tell you what, Brent, this is how you do it. Shortstop goes in behind your third baseman, calls him off, sees how much distance he's got between him and the fence, and makes a big league catch.
We head to the bottom of the third. It remains 7-0. Ole Miss on top.
Resilience. At Shriners Children's, we're leaders in pediatric sports medicine. With expertise in sprains, tears, fractures, and other sports-related injuries, we're here to deliver the best care in the business and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. Because every great comeback starts with a game plan for empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Naylor Industries and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, focusing on their business needs with lightning speed. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, a banking partner who is just as invested in your growth as you are. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
We head to the bottom of the third inning. Rebels on top of the Tigers, 7-0. Jaron Purify leading off the third inning here for Clemson. One of the co-captains on the team for the Tigers. Right now he's talking to our plate umpire, Chris Griffith. Believe it's an equipment issue.
I'm not sure yet. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's an equipment. Maybe he's got his hand sliding glove mitt, is what they're called now, in his back pocket. And they're going to make him take it out in case they throw a ball, you know, it gets behind him and it now becomes part of your uniform, would be my guess. See, now you see the first base coach has both of them in his hand. So you see what I'm saying? It creates a little more uniform for the ball to hit.
First pitch out of the strike zone, ball one from Mason Nichols. So far, 2 solid innings for him. He's faced just 1 more than the minimum. A couple of strikeouts for Nichols along the way. Foul back by Purify.
That's the first cutter I've seen today. I've seen the slider, I've seen the fastball. That's the first pure cutter I've seen from him today. That ball just moving right to left, doesn't have a whole lot of depth, but you can throw it at a higher velo. It's got good action to it.
That ball lined down the left field line for a base hit for Purify. That trickles into the corner. Purify on his way to second base with a leadoff double.
Now Breaker hangs in there right in the middle of the plate, starts in, sits there and spins for him. Do exactly what that is. When the ball's teed up for you like that, you get a chance to pull it down the line. It's exactly what you do. Get the head of the bat out and go standing into second base.
Second double the weekend for Jaron Purify. The Tigers had over 100 doubles a year ago in their 44-win season. And out of the plate, Andrew Chufo. Leadoff man for the Tigers on for the 7th time this weekend as Chufo takes a pitch inside.
Chufo needs to be feeling pretty good about himself after that inning-ending catch he made right up there next to the fence.
Ground ball to second. Luke Hill over to Reuter, first base for the first out.
He hit this ball good. The game gets in the way every once in a while. Second base, hit it right at the second baseman. Puts a good swing. Ball's right there, middle away. Defense was shifted over a little bit. Second baseman was in the middle part of the field. Makes a nice pickup and throw to first base for the out.
Back at the top of the Clemson order to Dominic Listy. Lined out to Chang in his first at-bat. Here's skies a pop-up into center. Humphrey the catch, Purified tags. He's coming to the plate, and the throw's not in time.
Tell you what, that's a pretty good catch and throw by your center fielder. Humphrey does a decent enough, good enough job. He gets behind it. It was bang, bang at the plate. That was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be when it was first hit. And he throws a really good throw back into home plate. We're going to get another look at it. He sets up, gets a little bit of momentum, comes through it, showing off his arm. Well, it was close, but he did get his hand in.
And now the Tigers on the board.
We're going to get one more close look at this play at the plate. Tell you what, Purified gets his hand down. A lot of coaches don't like to see guys go in head first or hand first. Yeah, it was close, and the reason for it is because you don't want to break a hand.
There's a base hit from Luke Gaffney with 2 outs here in the third. And Gaffney's off for the first time this afternoon. Tigers trying to rally back. This was a resilient team a year ago that had 25 come from behind wins. 8 of those with Clemson trailing by 4 runs or more. Now down 6 as Cam Canarella comes up. A little bit of stirring in that Ole Miss bullpen. Nichols trying to finish the third here for the Rebels. as Cantarella fights off the first pitch.
Well, now they've gone to a deep shift. What I mean by that, they're going to take their second baseman and set him deep into, well, deep second base, shallow right field. You got 3 defenders on the right side. You leave your third baseman. You see the second baseman, how deep he is back there. As he's got a lot of pull side abilities when he hits the ball on the line and on the ground. And so they're going to try to take that ball in the 4-hole away from him.
Cantarella, third-team All-American a year ago. Earned those honors despite playing through an injury most of last season. And playing through that injury, he was honored with the team's Inspiration Award. Two seasons, a career .363 hitter for Clemson.
I didn't get to see him. I got to see him play a little bit last year on TV, and every time I got a chance to watch him again, if he can make it look easy on TV, then you're pretty good. And that's what he does every time he plays this game. So effortless and fluid. It's just like his mind and his body's built to be on the baseball field.
Cantarella draws a walk. That's going to extend the inning for Clemson. Puts 2 on with 2 outs for Josh Pano. Second walk of the afternoon surrendered by Mason Nichols.
Yeah, that's going to warrant a visit. An Ole Miss pitching coach, and sometimes in this situation, you're going out to talk to him about, okay, can't do anything about what's happened, right? You know, you get base hit, a walk. Let's talk about what we're going to do. Let's talk about how we're going to get after this hitter. Let's talk about what, you know, our plan. We've talked about it before the game. You know, each game, the pitching coach will sit down with the pitching staff, the guys that are on the chart that are going to be relievers, particularly obviously the starter, and they go through each hitter in the lineup. They talk about, this is how we want to pitch this guy. This is what we want to do. This is how we want to approach him. And this is just a reminder, and also to get his mind off the walk that just happened right then. Let's refocus. Can't do anything about what happened. Let's talk about what we're about to do.
After the visit from Joe Mangrum, Nichols will go to work against Pano. Couple of hits, a walk, a run scoring for the Tigers in the third. And looking to do more 2-out damage. The heart of the order batting here for Clemson. And Nichols falls behind, a ball to no strikes.
That's one thing about this Clemson lineup. There's no soft spots. I mean, you got to stay bear down as a pitcher nonstop, 1 through 9.
Fastball in there for a strike. That ball scorched up the middle for a base hit for Pano. Gaffney around third, and he's going to score. Another one for the Tigers. It's a 5-run game.
They just keep putting good at-bats together. Not trying to do too much, not trying to kill balls and drive them out of the ballpark right now. Taking their singles. RBI single back up the middle. Just trying to continue to cut into the lead.
Now a 7-2 game, and the 7th batter of the inning comes up, Colin Priest. facing Nichols for a second time. Struck out against Nichols in the second. 2 on, 2 down. That ball hit into the shifts. Hill to Reuter. Throw home. And he's out.
Well, not your most predictable way to end an inning, from a throw from the second baseman, drop the ball at first, and then throws it to home plate to get the out. I think we're going to have a review as we get another look at it first. Drops the ball, picks it up, throws a strike to the plate. Call him out at home.
Protecting what matters most is the mission that matters most. At Lockheed Martin, we know today's threats come from behind, above, and below, and we make sure those who serve stay ahead of them by connecting platforms necessary to dominate every domain across air, land, sea, space, and cyber, using technologies that protect in the same moment they detect. The mission is a safer, more secure world. Our promise is to help make it happen.
Sometimes you just need a little wonderful in your life. So why not go to a place made for it? Arlington, Texas. It's a city made for fun and excitement and all the things you love to do. And even some things you didn't know you loved until you came here and found them. Come see for yourself why Arlington is a world of wonderful.
Everything you thought you knew is brand new. We on a new wave. See, when the game changes, so do we. Every day, every play. Always been greater than 12. Now standing 16 strong. In every end zone, any time zone. When everyone else keeps asking, what's next? We know we are.
Welcome back to Arlington. Here in the bottom of the third inning, there was a review of the play at the plate, and they are confirming the call on the field. Cantarella is out. Kind of a wild sequence there, Ty.
Well, yeah. I mean, they were in that deep shift, meaning the second baseman goes out into shallow right field, so he had to come running in on like a one-hop soft line drive. And when he fielded it, he threw it to the first baseman, and it was kind of an angled throw down towards the ground. He sticks his glove down there, it pops out of his glove. But in his defense, Reuter comes up. Now we're going to look at this. See, he comes charging in, throws a little bit of a down angle to him, drops it. Now watch this. He sets his feet and throws a perfect throw to the plate, applies the tag. And what they went back, and you'll get how close it was right there, whether the foot got in front of the glove or not. But they wanted to make sure, which is now, look, in my opinion, and I'm only one of a million people in college baseball, but I love the idea that they go out there and they go take a look at this.
We're now joined by Clemson Tigers head coach Eric Bakich. And Coach, we've been talking a lot about your program throughout the broadcast. 88 wins for you over the past couple of seasons. What kind of program do you believe that you've built there at Clemson?
You know, championship program that's built on championship players. This kind of underlying philosophy. If you want to have a great team, you got to have great teammates. So everything is kind of centered around the person, and then the scoreboard takes care of itself.
Eric, you know, in our pre-tournament conversations, you made a couple comments that you felt like you had the ingredients to have a team that could possibly down the road be one of those final 8 that are standing. Tell us about why you think that is.
Well, we're not lacking anything on paper. We have plenty of physical talent, you know, but the way these guys have approached the fall in all phases, not just baseball, but you know, set a fall GPA record, what they do with community service and continue to do on a weekly basis with community service, and then the consistency that they bring to our training sessions just feels like, you know, they are going to earn the opportunity to get hot in June, and we're very well aware and comfortable with the idea that our season will be judged a success based on how far we go in June, and we're good with that. But this is the team that we feel like can not only get back to Omaha, but should be able to compete to be one of the last teams standing.
Coach, a resilient win for you in the opener, a big win for you yesterday as well. What did you learn about your baseball team for the first 2 games of the season?
You know, 2 different things, really. I mean, yesterday, just the ability to explode for a big inning, which is why no one's panicking in this game right here. And then first game, you know, much where we left off last year, the ability to come back and play from a deficit, and the comfort of being able to play from a deficit. So, you know, down 5, top of 4, no big deal. At least that's the mindset in this dugout.
All right, Coach, thank you so much, and good luck the rest of the day.
Okay, thanks, guys.
And again, Tigers head coach Eric Bakich joining us here from Globe Life Field as we go to the top of the 4th inning, and Ole Miss on top 7-2.
Well, you heard him. He's confident in his ingredients. And, you know, and now I'm confident for him because I've been around Eric, and he's a fabulous coach and very emotional. I mean, he plays the game right step for step with his players. I promise you, he is as emotionally engaged as every one of those players that are involved in the game right now.
Leadoff walk for Luke Chang. That starts the 4th inning here for Ole Miss. Leadoff batter for Mike Bianco has reached in 3 of the first 4 innings for the Rebels, and now we go to the top of the order to Hayden Federico. There was a pitching change for the Tigers as well. Jacob McGovern done for the day. Luke Brown pitching now for Clemson, sophomore from Apex, North Carolina.
You're always wanting to score. So in line with what that statement means, which is an obvious one, but when your opponent scores, the first thing coaches start talking about is answer back. Got to answer back. Got to answer back. And you really want your offense to focus in and try to answer what your opponent just did the half inning before.
A ball and a strike to Federico. Grounds that one foul. Good day for Federico so far. A run scored and a run batted in for the Ole Miss DH. His first game as a Rebel this afternoon.
Well, he looks comfortable in there. Every once in a while, you'll get a freshman that gets his first game, and if you panned in the camera tight enough like this angle was right there, you'll start to see the lettering on their jerseys jumping up and down. That's that heartbeat just kind of moving on them.
The 1-2 drilled to right field. Another base hit for Federico. And quite the debut game for him this afternoon. And the first 2 have reached for Ole Miss here in the 4th.
Say what, 3 great at-bats for that young man. I'm sure his dad's probably involved in another game right now. If he's not, I know he'll get a chance to go back and watch it. But that is 3 quality at-bats from a young hitter.
A walk and a base hit brings up Luke Hill. An RBI triple and a couple of runs scored today for Hill. A throw back to second, and Chang is back in. What a great tournament tie it's been this weekend here in Arlington, huh?
It has. I mean, the setting for this tournament is, you know, just through the roof, literally through the roof. And 72 and sunny in here. The atmosphere, it's The crowds have been fun. Obviously, Rev Sports and the job that they do putting these tournaments together and to get baseball started, college baseball started, opening weekend.
That ball hit out towards right. McClatty going back at the wall, leaps, and it is gone. 3-run homer, Luke Hill, the 3rd homer of the day for Ole Miss.
I tell you what, he's just showing off his off-field power today. I mean, he comes up with a triple the at-bat before, driving it down the right field line. How about I'm just going to get it just a little bit more, Brant, and I'm going to make sure this one gets out of the ballpark for a homer.
A little Oppo taco there for Luke Hill.
Well,
just on the reach of McClatty.
Well, it took him a while to get around because Federico had gone back to tag in case there was a catch made at the fence, so he had to stop just short of Federico.
And now Udemark hit by a pitch.
Going to try to get Brown calmed down just a little bit after the homer. Fastball gets away from him and gets Udermark. That wasn't on purpose. We're going to get another look. The ball was hit down the right field line. So Federico, the runner at first, goes back to tag. Now first base coach is hollering at him, stay, stay, stay. Now he can go. So he has to stop because if there's any contact right there, it's an out. If you pass that runner in or you have contact with him.
A mound moves it here for the Tigers. There is activity in that Clemson bullpen. Looks like that could be it for Brown. Nathan Dvorsky is coming into the game here for Clemson. The Tigers got a couple of runs offensively in the bottom of the 3rd, but the Rebels have responded with 3 here at the top of the 4th. The Tigers are going to use their 4th pitcher of the game. That'll be it for Luke Brown. Face 4 batters, all 4 reaching for Ole Miss. A walk, a single, a home run, and a hit batter. And that'll be it for Luke Brown. And Dvorsky into the game now for Clemson. With the pitching change, we'll step aside with Ole Miss on top 10-2 here from the Shriners Children's College Showdown. 6 remarkable kids have each teamed up with a participating university for the Shriners Children's College Showdown Team Fundraising Challenge. All weekend long, teams will compete to see which fan base can raise the most money in support of Shriners Children's. Scan the QR code on your screen or visit ShrinersShowdown.com to donate in honor of your favorite team today. Pitching change for the Tigers. Nathan Dvorsky into the game now for Clemson. After a tough outing in relief from Luke Brown, faced 4 batters, all 4 reaching, including Luke Hill, who blasted a 3-run homer for Ole Miss, and now an 8-run lead for the Rebels. And speaking of 3-run homers, Ryan Moorman, the batter here, has one of his own. That came back in the first inning. In fact, for the Rebels, of the 10 runs they have scored, 8 have scored off of homers.
They're flexing their muscles today. We've seen them run into a lot of pitches. We've seen triples. We've seen homers. We've seen base running, base stealing. They've been on top of their offensive game.
Swing and a miss. Second time Moorman struck out today. And Dvorsky strikes out the first batter he faces.
Well, when the rally's going on, 2 ways to kind of slow it down a little bit. A lazy pop fly somewhere, or just an old-fashioned strikeout.
First out of the inning brings up Isaac Humphrey. And the count evens at a ball to strike to Humphrey, who's 1 for 2 with an infield base hit and a strikeout today. That's a miss inside. Here we are playing a Globe Life Field, a ballpark that opened about 5 years ago in 2020. A home of the World Series champions from 2023, the Texas Rangers. Ballpark has become a home for college baseball as Udemar takes second base.
Second time now the Rebels have started their runner at first base, trying to create a little bit of motion in the infield and with their offense, and both times successful so far in this game.
Swing and a miss. Humphrey strikes out. The out secured at first base. Couple of punch shots for Dvorsky. 2 outs in the inning. In a short amount of time, already a lot of history in this ballpark. All these college baseball games, the Big 12 championships held here. The Shriners Children's College Showdown the past several seasons. And it's been home to 2 World Series, the one featuring the Texas Rangers a couple of years ago, and the 2020 World Series between Tampa Bay and the LA Dodgers.
Well, I love the attitude of the ballpark. Hey, let's play baseball here. And let's do some, do some really cool things here. Let's have big league baseball. Let's have college baseball. And then when they're not playing baseball every chance they can, they got concerts out here. They've got bull riding going on out here. They have taken this facility and they have figured out how to make it an event center. And on top of it, though, for guys like you and I, it's a baseball field. They'd love to have people come in here and enjoy it and take on, nice crowds, and they treat everybody like $1 million. And I'll tell you what, it's an impressive place, and the people that go with it have been incredible.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Austin Foley, 7th batter of the inning for Ole Miss. 3 runs already in here in the top of the 4th. That ball hit well to right field, but right to McClatty. And that'll do it for the Rebels in the top of the 4th. But again, the big hit, Luke Hill, a 3-run homer for Ole Miss.
I tell you what, he gets an elevated fastball, gets right in the middle of it, goes to the deep side or backside homer. You don't think he loves it? Look at that.
Come on, boy! Come on, boy!
At Shriners Children's, we're home to the world's leading pediatric orthopedic care. Because so many life-changing advancements start here. We provide access to the best doctors and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. We're the first place to turn for the most common or complex orthopedic conditions. Home to possibility and empowering kids to achieve the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Record-breaking global superstar Shakira, live in Arlington. Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran World Tour, Globe Life Field, June 11th. The phenomenal new album Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran is available everywhere now. Get tickets now at Shakira.com.
Yeah, winning a policy. Thank God for $1, it's a prophecy. Love the pressure, I am a prodigy. Everybody inside of the stadium tell me they proud of me. Shot in public, training privately. Homer, straight to the balcony. Building muscle, I never can bother me. Texas Rangers together, we by the team. Going all this is the dog in me. Still a game on the road, it's a robbery. Stand on base, going strong, no apology. Corey Seager might give it to Raw. Like I see it, descending my arm.
And welcome back to Globe Life Field. Not just the home for baseball time, but as you're talking about, home to a lot of events in Arlington.
I mean, look, they get concerts. I was talking to the guys from Rev Sports. They have the bull riding in here, rodeos in here. They haul in dirt. There's not anything these guys can't do here, and they love to entertain, and it is done first class.
We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. An 8-run lead for the Rebels. Got 3 more runs in the top of the 4th. An opposite field 3-run homer for Luke Hill, the 3rd home of the day for Ole Miss. Look at beautiful Globe Life Field here in Arlington. That pitch is popped up, headed to foul territory and out of play.
Well, as you were showing that ball at the ballpark here, and you can see how uniquely designed it is. Could you imagine if every day, well, look at this. Could you imagine every day if you walked out here and this was your office? I mean, if this is what you got to call coming to work, I mean, that's pretty special.
See the retired numbers for the Rangers high in the stadium. Nolan Ryan, Johnny Oates, Ivan Rodriguez, Pudge, Adrian Beltre, Michael Young's numbers retired here at Globe Life Field. Nothing in 2 to Gerald. That ball smoked up the middle for a base hit for Gerald. He's on for the 2nd time.
Well, both teams today have done such a good job of hitting the ball back up the middle, the other way, not pulling off balls, having the ability to cover the whole plate. That ball was rifled back up the middle, but both teams doing an excellent job of hitting the ball to the opposite field today and the other way. And I think we're going to see a pitch and change.
Mike Bianco out to the mound, and that's going to be it for Mason Nichols. Ole Miss going to the bullpen for the first time today. And we'll step aside. Rebels 10, Tigers 2. Pitching change for Ole Miss. We're back after this on Flow College. big offensive day for Ole Miss. 3 homers on the day. Ryan Moorman first up in the first inning. A 3-run shot to put the Rebels on top early. Fast forward to the second inning. Judd Udemark with a towering shot to left. An upper decker. A 2-run bomb for Ole Miss. Made it 7-0. Rebels on top, and then you go to the top of the 4th inning. Luke Hill. Field home run for Ole Miss. 3 homers for the Rebels today, and on top 10-2.
Probably all totaling about 1,200 feet between the 3 of them. That's how far they were hit. I'll tell you what, Udermark's was way up there.
Tristan McClatty, the batter for Clemson, facing Ryan Rodriguez, the reliever here for Ole Miss. Rodriguez, the junior from Fort Worth, grew up not too far from this ballpark. 14 relief appearances a year ago. And a 2.45 ERA back in 2024. That was best in the staff.
I played over at Weatherford Junior College and played for one of the best coaches in the state, Jeff Lightfoot, who has produced a ton of great players at Weatherford College. I gotta be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised one bit if Coach Lightfoot's here today watching a little Sunday baseball.
Swing and a miss. Rodriguez strikes out McClatty. That is the 3rd strikeout for Rebel pitching this afternoon.
Starts that big sweeping breaker right out off on his hip. That thing glides all the way across the plate. Got that barrel going and couldn't hold it back.
Got to bring up Jaron Purify, who doubled and scored his last time up. And a couple of doubles on the weekend for the sophomore from Detroit. Rodriguez's pitch has a play, but it's low for ball 1. Fastball misses in.
You know, you wonder, how does a guy from Detroit end up in South Carolina? Recruiting is nationwide and actually all over now, worldwide, for a lot of these colleges. But because of select baseball and the quality of it, see these teams. Good looking breaker right there. These coaches get to see these teams when they spread out all summer long, you know, chasing select baseball. And all these great select teams will pile into Atlanta, Georgia, and different places, and you can go in there and sit in for about 3 weeks and watch some of the best players in the country.
Purifies on for the 2nd time today as he draws a walk. 2 on, 1 out for Clemson here at the bottom of the 4th. That'll bring up Andrew Chufo. Chufo from Medford, New York, 2nd-year transfer to this program from Georgetown. Some memorable hits a year ago before suffering a season-ending knee injury against Notre Dame. One of those hits for Chufo a season ago, a 2-run walk-off homer in the 12th inning against South Carolina. Clemson's first ever walk-off homer against the rival Gamecocks. On the ground to 3rd, goes off the glove of Udermark. Everybody is safe. Rounding 3rd, Gerald, he's going to score.
It's a nice piece of hitting. Gets a little top spin ball, goes over the top of this. Looked like a breaker. Udemark has to go to his left, and his only chance, Brant, was for him to get over there and kind of shuffle the ball with his glove. See him reach right there and try to get that short hop. Ended up being a little bit more of an in-between hop to his glove, and he wasn't able to come up with it clean, and it goes by Chang as well, allowing the run to score and also allowing Jaron to get all the way to third base.
That puts runners in the corners to the top of the order now, and Dominic Listy. Ball one from Rodriguez. Listy, the batter, began his career Division III North Central College and once had a 72-game on-base streak, the third longest in the history of D3 baseball. Has worked the count to 3-0.
You're starting to see more and more Division II and Division III players, older players in Division I baseball now because of the transfer portal.
In there for a strike, 3-1.
You're going to continue to see it too, that trend of guys going to Division II, Division III teams out of high school as freshmen, get bigger, faster, stronger, get 200 at-bats a year, get better, and you look up, and by the time they're graduates or their senior year, they're going to end up Division I lineups.
That ball roped foul by Listy, fills the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I mean, that's the era we live in now. I mean, that's the transfer portal has created that. Whether you like it, don't like it, that doesn't matter. It is what it is. And it creates some opportunities from guys that are older to end their career playing Division I baseball.
Punch foul by Listy, he stays alive.
That ball ricocheted off the fence. Purify was on third base, and he's got both mitts on, and he acted like he was going to field it, and he couldn't do it because they had those mitts on. It's like hitting off of 2 boards.
Lou Gaffney on deck for Clemson. Listy, the 5th batter of the inning. And a run already in for Clemson. Looking to chip away. It is now 7-run lead.
Oh, what an at-bat we're having right here. This is a battle. Setting the stage at on a 3-2 count. We've seen more than a handful of foul balls already. And Rodriguez having to come back and throw a strike each time as well. And he's been able to do it. We're going to see who ends up winning this battle.
Full count pitch, fought off again.
I love it. It's so much fun. Hey, and it's mano a mano right now. They both know it. Heck, the umpires run out of baseballs.
A couple of hits, a walk, and a run scored so far in the inning for the Tigers. 3-2 again to Listy. That ball drilled to right field, and a base hit is going to drive home Purify. Over to third base goes Chufo. Over to second goes Listy, and he's safe.
There's a lot to unfold here. That's a great at-bat. All right, first and foremost, that is a courageous, I'm not going to give in, I'm going to get my job done from Listy. Gets a breaker, Gets it out to right field for a base hit. Now, as he's coming around first base, Brent, they decide to try to throw the ball to third. He reads the height of the ball, sees it's over the relay guy, never breaks stride, and ends up at second base. Love the emotion of college baseball. He saw the height of it, kept the hustling to second base, just ahead of the tag.
And so Clemson, 2 more runs scoring here in the 4th inning. Going to lead to another change here for Ole Miss. The Rebels will head back to the bullpen. That's going to be it for Ryan Rodriguez. Second time the Rebels will have gone to the bullpen in this inning. Going to bring in Will McCausland. And we'll step away. Tigers trying to rally back. It's now 10-4, Ole Miss on top. You're watching the Shriners Children's College Showdown on Flow College. The Shriners Children's College Showdown unites athletic excellence and the most amazing care anywhere. Shriners Children's is dedicated to improving the lives of children around the world. All care is provided regardless of a family's ability to pay. To learn more, visit shrinerschildrens.org today. Here we are in the bottom of the 4th inning. Clemson trying to rally back. 2 runs have already scored, chip away at this lead. Runners second to third, just 1 out as Will McCausland comes into the game now for the Tigers. Look at his career numbers from St. Joe's. More than 155 innings of work, averaging more than a strikeout per inning.
He's in here right now to slow down this Tiger offense. And you heard Coach Bakich talk about, hey, there's no panic in this dugout. And they've had some good at-bats this inning. They've got a little momentum in their dugout. So it's out to McCausland to come in here now and try to quiet down this rally.
Luke Gaffey, the batter. Runners second to third, 1 away. McCausland's first pitch is fouled back for a strike. Luke Gaffey, first-year transfer from Purdue. Second-team freshman All-American last year as a Boilermaker. And his first year with Clemson. Takes that pitch high for ball 1. Scored 62 runs last year for Purdue, tying a school record. Batting second to the order today for the Tigers. Swing and a miss on the cutter away.
Yeah, good-looking cutter. That's an 85-mile-an-hour cutter just running away from him. Doesn't have a whole lot of depth. Moves side to side. If you get another look at it, watch it just feed out of the way, out of the strike zone. It's a good-looking pitch.
Struck him out. Big pitch from McCausland. That's the second out of the inning.
Why not go right back to it? Worked the first time. Let's go right back to that. Almost the exact same spot. It's a big-time strikeout in a big moment. Let's get a look at it just about a foot outside the strike box.
RBI chance here for Cam Cantarella. With first base open, you figure McCausland's going to be careful here.
Well, that might depend on the count too, right? How does the count work its way? And you know, now you got a right-handed hitter too coming up behind him with Pano, so that is an option if he falls behind to just move him on to first. Well, this pitch right here is probably going to tell what they may be thinking about what they want to try to do in a 2-0 count.
Three balls, no strikes. On 3-0, he's swinging and lines it to Hill as second base. So Cantarella gets the green lights, but lines out to end the inning. The Tigers scored twice, but they strand 2. 4 innings in the books. It's 10-4 Ole Miss over Clemson.
This morning we had the opportunity to introduce Dominic to the Ole Miss baseball team and help them understand what they'll be playing for at the Shriners Children's College Showdown.
Dominic, Mike Bianco, pleasure to meet you.
One of the diagnoses that I have is scoliosis, and it's a curvature of the spine. It's been 6 years of just pain, waking up in pain, trying to sleep like this. They've been the only ones to help, and I'm extremely thankful for Shriners.
Being able to be a part of this Shriners tournament that's happening in Arlington, it's just truly special because you really get to know what you're playing baseball for.
I really appreciated you coming out here. Here's a signed helmet. Oh man, we enjoyed having you here.
We have the best doctors in the world. We're world renowned, and then we take care of all the kids, you know, regardless of their ability to pay.
You sign up because you're going to play in a great facility. You sign up because you're playing great competition. But one of the cool things is you get to meet, you know, the children that Shriners Hospital affects.
I think it's truly special and it's truly spectacular what Shriners Children's and Shriners are doing. I hope this absolutely explodes.
And welcome back to Globe Life Field. Ole Miss on top 10-4 is ahead of the 5th inning. Brant Freeman alongside Ty Harrington. We're now joined by Dustin Johnson, the National Director of Sports for Shriners Children's here in the broadcast booth. Dustin, thanks for joining us. Tell me a little bit more about your role at Shriners Children's.
So I have the opportunity to oversee our national sports initiatives. So college baseball, college basketball, college softball, professional racing, as well as a college all-star football game all across the country.
And how great has this weekend been for Shriners Children's?
We're so thrilled that the college baseball community, these coaches, players, and fans have teamed up with us to raise almost $200,000 so far this weekend here in Arlington and share the story of how we impact the lives of kids all over the world.
Now look, not everybody knows this other than you and me. You went to the greatest high school in America. You and I ended up going to the same high school, Midway High School. But what an unreal job, right? I mean, you get to be around sports nonstop. You get to be part of something special. You get to be a part of great athletes, great moments, great events like this. Tell me what that's like for you individually.
No, it's an awesome experience. Certainly very fortunate to have the opportunity to work alongside Shriners Children's. But just to meet the families, the patients that we serve, help provide them with unforgettable experiences in professional and college venues is certainly incredibly worthwhile.
Got to look at one of the team captains for Clemson in the dugout, and the honorary captains have been so great to interact with, haven't they?
They've been awesome, especially Eli from the Clemson team there. He's been incredible this entire week. I believe he's even on their online roster right now as part of their team. So Clemson's been so great to work with there.
You can see him right there. I mean, I'll tell you what, that young man is full of life and fun and energy. I got to hear his pep talk a little bit in the dugout. I mean, I'm sorry, in the locker room before one of the games. I mean, he is bought in and all in, Clemson.
And Coach Eric Bakich has been so great to work with as well. We're glad to have him back in the dugout today.
He's glad to be back there, too, I promise you.
Top of the 5th inning, Ole Miss on top 10-4. Leadoff man Mitchell Sanford here for the Rebels. And he takes a strike. New pitcher into the game now for the Tigers. Dvorsky got that inning of relief back in the 4th inning. It is B.J. Bailey pitching now for Clemson. Dustin, what has the partnership been like here in Arlington specifically?
So working with Sean and Jared and his crew with Rev Entertainment has been an incredibly successful run thus far. We've been able to raise nearly $500,000 over the past 2 years, specifically through college baseball. But more importantly, just be able to inform the fans of the work of our medical facilities all across the world, specifically in Texas. We have a hospital in Galveston, and then not too far down the road, we have another location in Shreveport, Louisiana. And we're so thrilled just to be able to let these families know that Shriners Children's is here to help change lives.
Out of the plate here for the Rebels, Colin Reuter facing B.J. Bailey. Nobody on, one away for Ole Miss in the top of the 5th.
And let's go ahead and tell them how big a baseball fan you really are. You can go ahead and say it. That's okay. I mean, I've known this young man a long time, and he loves all the sports, but in his heart of hearts, he is a big-time baseball fan.
Yes, thank you, Coach. I certainly love following the Texas State Bobcats.
Well, see, I told you he was a baseball fan.
And how about the buy-in by these 6 programs here as well for Shriners Children's?
Again, all 6 coaches this year have been unbelievable, particularly for this game. Coach Mike Bianco, an incredible human being on and off the field. They welcomed Dominic, who's from northern Mississippi, to their campus a few weeks ago.
There's a base hit to left for Reuter, his 2nd hit of the day. It's a 1-out single for Ole Miss here in the 5th.
He's a patient that we have helped provide treatment for scoliosis, so curvature of the spine. He's here this week with his mother and just have had an incredible experience alongside the University of Mississippi.
And we spoke about this earlier as well. What a venue for this event as well.
Again, it's one of the best baseball venues in the world with an opportunity to tell fans here in North Texas about the incredible work that our doctors, nurses, and therapists do every single day at our more than 21 locations around the world.
Luke Chang batting down for Ole Miss, count even 1 ball, 1 strike. In our interactions with the honorary captains, what I love about talking about with them is their love for the game as well.
For sure, for sure. And their incredible confidence that we see come through this weekend. You know, some of the children that are here have never had the opportunity to stand in front of a group, tell their story about how Shriners has made an impact in their life. And by the time they leave Globe Life Field, they have a new confidence and an excitement to go out and tell people about the care that they've received and the experience that they've had alongside these baseball teams.
2 on, 1 out, back at the top of the order for the Rebels. Hayden Federico good at bat now.
Yeah, I think what Bailey was trying to question in the Clemson dugout was whether Chang stuck his arm out over the plate on that pitch. He was uptight, crowding the plate, which you have the right as a hitter. That's what the white lines in the batter's box are for. But you could see him question whether they felt like he'd kind of extended his elbow out over the plate to get hit.
That ball drilled to left field. Listy tracks it down short of the warning track. That will move Reuter over to third base, just ahead of the throw. 2 outs of the inning after good play made by Listy and left.
I'll tell you what, that's another impressive at-bat by Federico. That's a 3rd ball he's landed on today. He lands on this. Listy does a good job of getting his momentum underneath him, making a good throw, and ended up making that play a lot closer than what I thought it was going to be from the get-go. And they hidden ball trick, and they just called him out at third base.
How about that play for Clemson?
One of the funnest plays in baseball when you're on the getting the outside of it. Watch him ease over there. And you get a chance if we get, I don't know if we're going to get a chance to see it because it was so sneaky. He eases over there. The pitcher has to stay off the dirt area. Third baseman puts the ball either under his finger behind his glove or hides it in his glove. And as soon as a runner comes off third base, comes off, he'll tag him. We're going to get a chance to see this. Watch this. He does have it in his glove there, right? He's going to walk over. Timeout's called. Now watch. He's going to act like he hands the ball over to him. Get tight to him so nobody else can see it. Cover the ball up in his glove. Now watch the pitcher in the back of the green. He's going to stay off the mound. He can't address the mound. Third base coach talks to the runner. He goes back to position. Hidden ball trick at its finest, gentlemen. Third out of the inning.
And that'll do it for the Rebels in the top of the 5th inning. The old hidden ball trick for Clemson leads to the third and final out. We're back after this from the Shriners Children's College Showdown. And welcome back to Globe Life Field. It is a 10-4 lead for Ole Miss over Clemson. But again, what a play to end the top of this inning.
I mean, look, it's one of those plays as a coach. You got to have the confidence and the freedom to let your players pull that off. You truly do. You got to say, yeah, if you pull it, go do it, right? And they did it to a T. And it just takes a little bit of the base runner just dropping his eyes for just ever so little bit, and they were able to pull it off.
So after that, we go to the bottom of the 5th with Josh Pano leading off here for Clemson. At one point, it was 7-0, then 10-2. Tigers have made it a 6-run game. It's Pano, Priest, and Jarrell for Clemson to the 5th. And the first pitch misses the corner for ball 1.
Well, Pano did such a great job of selling it, right? He got up tight to the pitcher on the hidden ball trick where they couldn't see whether he gave it to him or not. I mean, everything has to work right in that, and it did. I mean, look, there's a lot of different ways in baseball to get an out, and they just pulled it. I promise you the other teams that are here, the Oklahoma State and the Texas teams are watching it, and they're loving every piece of it. They love that stuff.
Let's take a look at it one more time.
It's worth it, I'm telling you. He goes up tight to him like he's going to hand the ball off, just drop it in his glove. Puts it in there and hides it, gets out there like he's going to his position, nonchalant, right? Umpire puts the ball in play. The other piece it is, they call timeout. You got to make sure the ball's put back in play. And they called him out.
Moments ago, a ground out by Pano over to third base for the first out here in the 5th inning. Look back at the ground out here. Judd Udemark with a long throw over to first base, and one away in the bottom of the 5th. Base is empty for Colin Priest. Ty mentioned Oklahoma State and Texas. That is the nightcap tonight, the 9th and final game of the weekend. Swing and a miss. Count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike. Earlier today, Louisville 13-1 winners in 8 innings over Arizona. Louisville goes 2-1 here at the Shriners Children's College Showdown. Wildcats, a lone winless team. They finish 0-3. The first losing weekend to open up a year for Arizona since 2004.
little bit different approach from McCausland in a sense that Nichols, we saw him try to keep the ball away from the hitters. McCausland's, I'll tell you what, he's throwing that ball right on top of him, not hitting them. I'm talking about inside to him. He does it again.
Swing and a miss. Priest out on strikes for the second time. Second strikeout for McCausland, who's retired all 4 batters he's faced.
Just stays in there. This one's an elevated heater. He's been inside, inside, inside. Again, this strike box has been so much fun for me this weekend. I ain't gonna lie to you. And they go right above it again, right at the top of the catcher's mask, or a lot of people refer to the top of the triangle with a four-seamer, and gets him to swing underneath it.
Now Jacob Jarrell for Clemson batting with nobody on and 2 out. Cut on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jacob Jarrell, a co-captain for his 2nd straight year for Clemson. Fouls off the 1-1 pitch to make it a ball and 2 strikes.
Let's go get the next one, JJ.
Pops him up. And to center, Humphrey is there for Ole Miss. A 1-2-3 5th inning for Will McCausland. 5 innings in the books. It's Ole Miss 10, Clemson 4. Here from Globe Life Field in Arlington.
Golden Chick's new Golden Bowl is so big, it's a whole lot of yes and a whole lot of yum. So if you like big bowls, and we cannot lie, the new loaded mashed potato bowl is a whole lot of Golden Chick, a big bowl you can't deny.
Woodcraft and their dedicated Amagi business banker work together to put the us in business banking, creating a long-lasting relationship with open and quick communication. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amagi business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll work to help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, the support you need to reach your business goals faster. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
A look at Josh Pano over at third base, who of course was involved in that wild play for Clemson back in the 5th inning. The old hidden ball trick working out for the Tigers.
Hey, you know, it's an interesting piece. We're going to get another look at this as he hit it in his glove the whole time, but he hit it further down into his glove and had his palm opened up where they could see that. Like, I mean, you can't. That takes work to be able to pull that off. You got to practice it. You got to tell everybody. You know what he does when he walks by the pitcher? He tells him, hey, we're going to run hidden ball trick right here. Okay, I got the ball, stay off the mound. And then he goes over and pulls off the play. And then I found myself just a second ago realizing in my scorebook that I had to go back and try to rescore this, because I was like, wait a minute, how'd they get the last? And then I remembered, and I was like, oh, I can go back and put a 5U on it.
Here at the top of the 6th, Luke Hill leading off for Ole Miss. It's Hill, Udemark, and Mormon for the Rebels in the 6th inning. Ole Miss crooked numbers in the 1st, 2nd, and 4th. Some big offensive innings for a team that had a hard time offensively in the first 2 games. 2 runs in the opener, but enough to beat Arizona on Friday. Shutout last night against Luke Harrison in Texas. The 1-1 pitch drilled to left field. Listy going back, and it's gone. Second home run of the day for Luke Hill. 11-4 Ole Miss.
Talking about having a day. How about let's hit a triple? How about let's hit a homer opposite field? And then how about let's hit a homer poolside for the afternoon? Oh man, he catches a breaker. Watch him get in behind this. He knew it. You know, he takes off running. He knew that ball was scorched.
The 4th home run of the day for Ole Miss. And how about that catch?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that fan in perfect position.
He probably telling him, ball, ball, ball. I got it, I got it. Look at him, and he takes a bow.
Have yourself a day, Luke Hill. Driven in 5 runs for the Rebels today. Boy, that fan is loving it.
I love it. Bring your glove to the ballpark. You never know.
Rebels up to 5 homers this weekend, tied with Oklahoma State for the most in the tournaments. Udemark a swing and a miss, evens the count 2-2.
You know, every one of his friends that are watching this on TV right now or texting him or texting his parents, you're on TV, you're on live TV right now. What a catch.
Bailey checks the swing. That'll fill the count to 3-2.
You know what kind of went unnoticed? They run the hidden ball play, right? They got a lot of momentum, a lot of excitement, a lot of emotion in Clemson's dugout.
That time Udemark goes around, and the play at first secures a strikeout. Second time Udemark's out down on strikes in the game.
They get all that excitement and all that emotion, and then McCausland goes out there and goes 1, 2, 3. You're talking about stealing your momentum off the mound. And then what does Ole Miss do? Luke Hill just comes up and blasts the ball to left field to put some momentum back in their dugout.
Out of the plate for the Rebels, Ryan Moorman. And takes a strike from B.J. Bailey, his second inning of relief for Clemson. That ball headed towards right field, going to drop in for a base hit from Moorman, his second hit of the day.
I might say it again today, and this because being an old coach and talking to your hitters about being able, allowing yourself to drive balls the other way. Both teams today have done it. Back up the middle the other way. They've had pull side homers too. They've had the 3 pull side homers, but man, each team, it's just their ability to commit to hitting the ball back up the middle and the other way has been really impressive today.
Isaac Humphrey takes a pitch inside. So far his day, 1 for 3 with an infield base hit. Struck out a couple of times. Count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike. Ole Miss playing for a winning weekend today. Clemson, the only unbeaten team, looking for a perfect start to their season. But it's the Rebels who are in command right now, on top, 11-4. Changeup that misses for ball 2. In there for a strike.
Oh, that's a good-looking fastball. That was a little bit of barking coming out of the Ole Miss dugout. They're going to call a pitch count. A pitch clock violation on the pitcher now. All of a sudden, we got a lot going on back there.
Ground ball to second. Played the bag for one. Back to first for a double play. Purified and Chufo to Gaffey to end the inning. But the inning began with a Luke Hill homer, his second one of the day. A 5 RBI day for Luke Hill. His first homer opposite field. This one going pull side. A couple of homers today for Luke Hill, and a great catch made in the stands.
How about that with a program in his hand, for crying out loud?
We're here today to introduce Eli from Shriners Children's Greenville to the Clemson Baseball team. Eli is the honorary team captain for Clemson University at the Shriners Children's College Showdown.
It's been great getting to hang out with the team. They've been very welcoming.
This is Eli, baby, and Eli's a Clemson Tiger.
I think everybody was just, all right, Eli's on our team. Here we go. Let's go. You're going to do individual defense. You're going to take batting practice. You're a part of it.
My wife and I went to ultrasound. The doctor came in and shared with us there were going to be some differences. It's called PFFD. He was born without a femur. His short leg was exactly half the length of his long leg. My dad and I talked, a week later. He knew a little bit about Shriners. What we came to understand is that this is world-class care.
It's nice knowing, I have the best doctors, and I just go to Shriners knowing I can trust them with whatever they're going to do, whether it's surgery, giving me a new leg, or just an annual checkup.
Every time a leg's made, it's amazing that it's world-class care regardless of the family's ability to pay.
What an awesome kid. What an awesome experience for everyone.
Go Tigers!
And welcome back to the Shriners Children's College Showdown, third and final day of the weekend. Here we are in Game 2 of our triple-header. Ole Miss on top of Clemson, 11-4. Brant Freeman alongside Ty Harrington. Glad to have you with us as we talk more about the SEC and the teams ranked coming into the 2025 season. Texas A&M ranked first, LSU third, Tennessee fourth, Arkansas fifth. You got 4 teams, the top 5 in the SEC.
You said Arkansas fifth, and they're coming in here next weekend for another loaded up, unreal showdown. And I go back to Coach Holliday, Oklahoma State, who will play the next game against Texas, talking about how Arkansas had, in the fall they played them, might have had the most impressive pitching staff he's seen. Now, that's saying something big, right, when you say that. Now, I'd heard going into this year, even before the fall, that they had a lot of great arms, but that's a big statement. It'll be fun to watch them next weekend, and again, another loaded tournament.
Ball and 2 strikes to McClatty. Swing and a miss. McCausland strikes him out. That's his third strikeout out of the bullpen, and 1 out here in the 6th.
Tight breaker. Down in the kind of right at the kneecaps is where it starts. Right in the middle of the plate. It takes a hard dive into the dirt. And McClatty could not hold that barrel back. Once he got it going, he wasn't able to check his swing.
Here's Purify for the Tigers. And not lost at his tie. As good as the SEC is the ACC, one of the top programs in the country.
I tell you what, you start piling in there North Carolina State. I just on and on the baseball. A lot in that eastern coast, right? When you start making your way up there, and then Clemson, and that's a lot of, between the ACC and the SEC. Those guys are hogging the top 20.
Jaron Purify's been on twice today with a double and a walk. He's also scored 2 times for the Tigers. Swing and a miss. McCausland, another strikeout. He's gone 7 up, 7 down with 4 Ks.
Get another look at this breaker. If you're watching this on TV and you're going, why do these guys keep swinging at this breaker in the dirt? What do they keep doing it for? He attacks that breaker so hard, you can't tell as a hitter if it's a fastball or a slider, and all of a sudden it gets right towards the plate, starts in the hitting area, and then just disappears.
Base is empty, 2 outs for Chufo. Fouls off the first pitch for strike 1.
See, you get you sped up on that fastball right there, 91, 92 miles an hour. Now, we've seen higher velo this weekend. We've seen 96, 97. But it's got great four-seam rotation, gets on you, hurry, explodes, and gets you sped up as a hitter. And then he comes back with that breaker, and it just disappears.
The 1-1. Elevated fastball runs the count to 2 balls and a strike.
Well, he went to the same place with it as the 0-1. Tried to go away with it, just elevated both of them.
Came back with a cutter, cut on and missed.
Yeah, he had thrown that since his first inning that he went out there. Remember, he came out through back-to-back 85-mile-an-hour cutters. Then he went to the slider the last inning. And then he just comes out there and says, all right, try this out, see how it goes.
On the ground, that's a fair ball down the third base line. Bounces off the railing, and Chufo's going to wind up with a 2-out double.
That's a tough at-bat right there with that young man sitting down at the bottom of this order. Again, the balance of this Clemson order is just really, really impressive. Stays on it. It's a ball down the line. And the nuances of this ballpark gets hung up right there where the fencing comes out. Easily double. Or standing up at second base.
First base runner that McCausland has allowed brings us back to the top of the Clemson order to Dominic Listy. And fights off the first pitch for strike 1.
You know, Brent, a lot of people talk about, oh, the guy sitting down in the 9-hole and all this kind of. Let me tell you the importance of that. You'll take one of your, you know, a good enough hitter, and you'll put him in that 9 spot, because what is his goal and his op is to swing it right back to the top of the order to these guys that are coming in there who normally are your more productive hitters.
1 ball, 1 strike to Listy. Has driven in a couple of runs today for the Tigers. He's 1 for 2. 11 runs, 11 hits so far for Ole Miss. 4 runs off 8 hits for Clemson. A fastball that misses. Ball 2.
Well, he just keeps coming in there to these left-handed hitters, trying to throw the ball underneath them or on them. He goes right back in there again, that time with a cutter. Fastball's in there, cutter in there. When I say on him, not actually hitting him, I'm talking about just trying to press the ball on the inner half on him.
Two just misses. Came back with another cut fastball.
Well, this whole sequence of pitches have been on the first base side of the plate, the inner half to the left-handed hitter, Listy. I'm anxious to see what he's going to do in a full count setting here with it.
It's a high fastball. Listy's on for the second time. 2 on, 2 outs here for the Tigers in the 6th. Trying to chip away the 7-run lead.
I mean, how tough of an out is Listy? Man, I mean, that's a, you know, 60% of this, I don't know what the percentage is, I'm making it up, but a high percentage of your college hitters in a 3-2 count right there, right? You got a runner at second base in scoring position, and you're trying to get your team and get a big hit and fire them up and all this. Swings at that pitch, and he just did not. Right there, you know, just above his hands, had the discipline to lay off of it and stay off of it, which is why he's sitting in the leadoff position in this lineup.
Joe Mangrum out of the mound for Ole Miss, making a mound visit with McCausland. That bullpen for the Rebels stirring a bit right now. See Alex Canny and Cade Townsend getting loose for the Rebels.
Getting to games like this where you've got a lead against a really, really good Clemson team. If you're Ole Miss, it wouldn't surprise me if whoever they thought they might have had scheduled out to start this coming Tuesday in their first midweek game, wouldn't surprise me if he's in the bullpen right now trying to get loose. I'm not sure, they didn't declare who their fourth starter was going to be, but it wouldn't surprise me if he came off the list of starting Tuesday to a possible relief on this Sunday.
Pitch that reaches the backstop. Both runners will advance. Fastball just got away from McCausland. Now a couple in scoring position for Gaffney. Tigers' first 2 games, 12 for 27, the runners in scoring position. The 1-0. In there for a strike on the slider.
As a right-handed hitter right now, you got to be looking out there. I mean, you got to protect on the outer half. To the right-handed hitters, it's been first base side of the plate, as it's been for the left-handed hitters on that same side of the plate. You got to be conscious of it and protect out there right now. He's throwing a lot of cutters, breakers, and fastballs away to the right-handed hitters.
That rolls away from Foley, and Chufo's going to score. Makes it a 6-run game.
It just didn't get to his knees quick enough. He gets there to try to block it. Just couldn't quite get there soon enough to block it, keep it in front of him.
A little 2-out rally here for Clemson. Count 2-2 to Gaffney. And McCausland strikes him out. 5th strikeout for McCausland, and that'll do it for the Tigers. In the bottom of the 6th, we head to the 7th. Ole Miss 11, Clemson 5 for the Shriners Children's College Showdown. M&T Bank College Baseball Series presented by Kubota is bringing the heat to Globe Life Field next week. 4 powerhouse programs, Arkansas, TCU, Michigan, and Kansas State, are set to battle it out in an epic early season clash. Don't miss your chance to see some of the nation's top teams go head-to-head in high-stakes matchups that will set the tone for the season. We head to the top of the 7th. It is a 6-run lead for the Rebels on top, 11-5. The home run ball has fueled the Rebels here today. 4 homers for Ole Miss. Those 4 home runs have accounted for 9 of the 11 runs for the Rebels this afternoon. New pitcher Jackson Cole on the mound now for the Tigers. 6th pitcher Clemson has used here today. Strike 1 to Austin Foley, who's 0 for 3 with a strikeout this afternoon. And the 3-1 grounded foul. Full count. And Foley draws a leadoff walk.
They got him into full count. Opts to go with a breaker. Tell you what, Foley does an excellent job of laying off of it. Big sweeping left-handed breaker.
5th walk of the day for Tigers pitching. Mitchell Sanford has walked twice for Ole Miss. He bats now with a runner on. I get a lot of lineup changes today for Mike Bianco for Ole Miss, and the formula has worked this afternoon.
I got to start at the top with a young freshman, Hayden Federico, who's had a tremendous day. Even his out was loud.
That ball smacked to right field. It is a base hit for Sanford. And the first 2 Rebels have reached here in the 7th inning.
Nice piece of hitting right here. Breaker that starts at him and catches. I still think the ball was kind of away from him. Still pulls it over into the 4-hole for a base hit.
Two on, nobody out. That's going to bring up Colin Reuter. Bottom 3rd of the order, really productive in terms of getting on base for the Rebels today. Reuter's been on twice with a couple of base hits and takes the first pitch slider low for ball 1.
I thought I'd recognize this swing and this young man. I had an opportunity to call 3 of their games last spring at BYU. He's a good-looking hitter for sure. He's got some strength and some power. And so far, he's done a great job. I think 2 pull side hits today on balls running into him. Good-looking swing.
The Rebels have been excellent today with runners on base. 7 for 15. And scoring position 4 for 9 after they were hitless in those situations the first 2 games of the tournament. And now we got a mound visit coming up here for Clemson.
Well, when he first started out, it looked like Coach Bellinger was looking at the bullpen. I thought he might be making a move, but this might just be a discussion. One of those confidence builders, as coaches like to call it, a confidence builder. Just a reminder, what emotionally maybe going through the young man's mind, or physically. There's a lot of different things you can discuss right there, but as a coach, it's your job when you get to the mound to know what to tell him and how to tell him.
Deion Brown getting loose for Clemson to the bullpen. And a hitter's count coming up for Reuter. 2 balls and no strikes from Cole. Walks on 4 pitches. Bases loaded for the Rebels and nobody out here in the 7th. That'll send up the 9-hole hitter Luke Chang. But he will not face Jackson Cole. That's going to be it for the Tigers left-hander. Eric Bakich back to his pen, will bring it his 7th pitch of the day. Deion Brown coming in here for Clemson. And we'll step away. Ole Miss on top 11-5 and threatening for more offense in the 7th with the bases loaded and nobody out. The home run ball has fueled Ole Miss here today. Ryan Moorman got things going in the 1st inning with a 3-run shot to put the Rebels on top early against Clemson. Fast forward to the 2nd inning. Judd Utermark with a towering shot to left. A 2-run bomb made the score 7-0 Ole Miss. Utermark's first home of the season into the upper deck. Then you go to the 4th inning. Luke Hill coming up. Opposite way for Ole Miss. An Oppo Taco in the Sunday afternoon. A 3-run homer in the 4th. Beyond the reach of Tristan McClatty. Luke Hill with later homer in the 6th inning. Again to the pull side. 4 homers for Ole Miss here today. The 4 home runs responsible for 9 of the runs scored for Ole Miss through this afternoon.
They flexed their muscles today, that's for sure.
Bases loaded, nobody out. Deion Brown on the mound now for Clemson. Facing Luke Chang. And the 0-1 pitch is hit in the air to right. McClatty retreating to the warning track. Foley will tack from 3rd, and he'll score to make it 12-5. Ole Miss on top.
Productive at bat. You have the bases loaded. You got to lead, right? Any chance you can extend it, you want to, because you know how good Clemson's offense is. So you got to keep extending the lead. Keep extending it. Good job. 9-hole chain, getting the ball out to right field for an RBI sac fly.
Now back to the top of the Rebels order to Hayden Federico. Had a great debut game for him. Been on twice, has scored twice, has brought home a run. Ahead against Brown, a ball to no strikes. A big miss inside of the breaking ball. Runs the count to 2-0. Swing and a miss. Came back with the breaking ball. Three balls, one strike.
Now I think that they're going to find out if that hit him on the foot. He's going to bring him back. He's going to go to the middle of the umpire is, and Chris McGriff is going to go to the mound, call in the other guys and say, hey, did you guys see it hit his foot? The hitter acted like it did. And sometimes you can tell by when they make your rounds as the home plate umpire, you see him asking each umpire what they thought, what they saw. And usually, so you can almost tell, like, yeah, I know it hit him, or man, it might have hit him. I don't know, he's going to go back. Now he's talking about how many reviews do you have left. And now Ole Miss is asking for it. Yep. I mean, they feel that confident that it hit him, that they're going to ask for it.
And we'll get a look at it as well.
I know Federico is confident it hit him. That's hard on the home plate umpire, by the way. If it just grazes his shoe, that makes it a challenge for him to see it. And a lot of times umpires will go off of the hitter's reaction, whether it hit him or not. We're going to see right at the bottom of the screen whether it got him. I think it got him. I think it got his left big toe right there. I mean, right? It looked like it ricocheted off his end of his shoe into the mid. Now, whether it's enough to change the call, or we get another. How about this camera work our guys have got going on here? See, you got to be able to tell whether the ball changed directions is what they're going to look for. At that angle, I'm not sure I could tell. This, to me, is the angle that it looked like it caught his shoe right there. I don't know if there's enough to. Golly, that's close. I think it hit him. See the ball change? Yeah, I think it changes directions right there. See how it goes back towards the mitt? Right as it hits, and then that ball goes back to the right. It was going left, and then just ricochets ever so slightly off his shoe and goes back to the right. Yep, I think it hit him, but it's got to be, what do they call it?
Indisputable.
Indisputable. I was looking for that word. I was going to come up with it eventually.
This Big 12 crew still looking things over.
Yeah, I guarantee you they are. That's not cut and dry, and it's a big decision because that puts what could be the winning run in a 7-inning game, run rule at first base. Well, we're going to find out.
I think the say did not hit him.
It did not. That's what I told you. I thought, indisputable, I think is the word you used. Yeah, I promise you they looked at it multiple times, and there was not enough evidence. Whether I thought and you thought and everybody else thought the ball changed directions, I don't think there was enough to change the call.
3-1 pitch, last into right field for a base hit for Federico. His third hit of the day. A run is in for Ole Miss to make it 13-5 as Sanford scores.
How about welcome to college baseball for that young man? Even though he's been around it his whole life with his dad and been in the baseball family, he just steps up and delivers his third hit, and then hit another ball in the left field that he smashed earlier in the game. What an impressive debut for this young man.
3 hits, a couple of runs batted in for Federico. He has scored twice. And Astan to second base with Luke Hill coming up, and what a day Hill has had today. Driven in 5 runs, a couple of homers, and a triple for Hill this afternoon. That gets away from Gerald. And Reuter's going to score.
Well, now you got what possibly is a possible. Now, Clemson's going to hit in the bottom half either way, but if they're able to push this run from third 90 feet in, then they'd have to hold that potent Clemson lineup, but
swing and a miss by Hill. If Ole Miss does run rule Clemson, it would mark the 3rd straight run rule in this tournament. Texas run ruled Ole Miss last night 10-0. Louisville run ruled Arizona earlier this morning. This is popped up. Gaffney from first base doesn't have a play.
Well, you got a lot between here and there, but you're right. I mean, it's been since Friday. There's been some really enlightening offensive performances.
That gets away from Gerald. Here comes Federico. 15-5 Ole Miss.
He just pulls that fastball over away from him. Tough on the right-handed throwing catcher to reach all the way across his body to keep it in front of him.
A 4-run 7th inning for the Rebels. Scored 3 in the first, 4 in the second, 3 in the fourth. Another run of the 6th, 4 across here in inning number 7. But a big explosive day for the Rebels. And Hill draws his second walk. The Tigers have not retired him today.
Now, having a day is an understatement for that young man. He has obviously been on base 5 times, 2 homers, a triple, 2 walks.
And here comes Eric Bakich. Chase kick. The Tiger reliever getting loose. Now we'll see if Eric Bakich makes a change. And there's kick getting loose for the Tigers.
They're going to make a move.
So that's it for Dion Brown. The 8th pitcher today coming in for Clemson. We'll step away with Ole Miss on top by 10 at the top of the 7th inning. You're watching the Shriners Children's College Showdown on Flow College. Welcome back to Globe Life Field here in Arlington. Your college sports have a home on Flow College. Watch more than 12,000 college sporting events from 100 schools and 12 different conferences only on Flow College. Head to flowcollege.com today to see everything now. Back here in Arlington from Globe Life Field for the Shriners Children's College Showdown. All Ole Miss on top by 10 here in the top of the 7th inning. 8th pitch of the game in now for the Tigers, who've gone from the starter, Justin Legurnick, to McGovern, to Brown, to Dvorsky, to Bailey, to Cole, to Brown, and now to Chase Kick. The batter here, Judd Udemark, who was homered today for Ole Miss, one of 4 home runs for the Rebels here today. Swung on. Here's a drive out towards left center. The park is going to hold this. Cantarella there for the Tigers for the 2nd out of the inning.
Took off like it had a chance when he first hit it from our view up here, and I think maybe just because he's hit one already, right? And I mean, the one he hit early in the game was an absolute bomb, but he got underneath that one just a little too much.
After the flyout from Udemark is Ryan Moorman, who's also homered today. Got the offense going for Ole Miss with a 3-run shot back in the 1st. In there for a strike, 1-1. That pitch grounded foul.
I was digging through D1 baseball a while ago and looking at the top 25, and there was, I think, there's 5, maybe 6 ACC schools that are, you know, Clemson, Duke, Florida State, Wake, and Virginia. Obviously, were also ranked. I mean, you know, the SEC and the ACC kind of rounding out or controlling that top 20 right now at the beginning of the year. A lot of baseball left to be played.
7 teams in the ACC ranked in the preseason top 25, 9 out of the SEC. So add it all up.
Well, my math was bad. I missed one while I was digging through there. I just went to the top 20.
And that a liner handled by Pano to end the top of the 7th inning. The Rebels in the 7th score 4 times. They've taken a 10-run lead heading into the bottom of the 7th inning. We're back after this from Arlington. The 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Amity Bank as we welcome you back to the Shriners Children's College Showdown. All Ole Miss here today in Game 2 of our triple-header. On deck, Texas and Oklahoma State. Longhorn fans already here getting ready for the nightcap between Oklahoma State and Texas. A lot of crooked numbers up on the board for Ole Miss. Just scored 4 in the top of the 7th and now tie in run rule territory.
It is, but you got a tough lineup to try to navigate your way through if you're trying to close it out. And I mean, look, you're right in the heart of it too for Clemson. So I mean, it sounds good, but it's no easy chore.
Well, McCaws is still on the mound for the Rebels. There's a pinch hitter up here for Clemson. Cantarella called back. This is Jack Crichton, a junior from Rochester Hills, Michigan. 1 ball, 1 strike. Crichton, a .313 hitter in 30 starts last year for Clemson. Had a great postseason for the Tigers, named to the all-regional team. That ball drilled up the middle, and it gets by the glove of Luke Hill to center field for a leadoff base hit.
Coach Bakich talked about how they had so many good offensive players. You know, how do you get them all in? And sometimes you get guys in moments. You know, you're down 10, and you got to get some guys in that bats, and you choose your moments when you can do it. You're always looking for something positive to come out of it. Crichton steps right up there and zips one right back up the middle.
Another pinch hitter here for Clemson, T.P. Wentworth, freshman from Ripon, California. Swings and misses at the fastball. Count evens 1-1. One and two. It's
not been anything sneaky. It's most of the pitches that he has thrown have been on at first base side of the plate all day long. It's the first changeup we've seen in 2 innings from him. We hadn't seen it very much. The left-handed hitters would be the ones he'd probably more apt to use it.
McCausland came into the game in the 4th inning, and he's only allowed 2 base runners. Along the way, has struck out 5. And it's really slowed down this Clemson offense, which put up 6 runs in the opener on Friday, 16 to the win over Arizona yesterday. Swing and a miss and a strikeout. There's the first out of the inning here, the bottom of the 7th.
Elevated up and away. First time against the left-handed hitters. He's gone the other side of the plate. Throws a 4-seamer. I tell you, he's got such good action at the end of it when he goes to the top of the strike zone or above the strike zone, actually.
Jay Dillard pinch hitting for Colin Priest. Sophomore from Anderson, South Carolina, takes strike 1. A sophomore for the Tigers, didn't get many opportunities a year ago as a freshman. Foul back and falls behind, 0-2. Breaking ball that misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On the ground a second. Hill spins, throws to first base. It gets away from Reuter. Dillard is safe. 2 on now for Clemson.
That'd be interesting how they score this. Tough play to his left. Hill makes a good play. Ranging to his left. We're going to get another look at it. Ball's hit pretty good. Tries to spin, move, and throw. Hops it out. Tough play.
It is scored as an infield base hit. So 2 on, 1 out. Another pinch hitter coming up for the Tigers. It is Josh Castellani up now for Clemson. And Castellani falls behind, 0-2.
Let's see if he tries to go to a secondary right here in the 0-2, kind of a Barry secondary maybe, try to get him to chase something out of the zone. If he does, feel reasonably sure he'll go right back up to that strike zone. Yeah, he went back up already, the upper part of it.
Reference the Tigers' offensive weekend. 22 runs in the first 2 games. They were top 30 in the nation in scoring a year ago, just shy of 500 runs scored back in 2024. Swing and a foul tip, strikeout. Castellani goes down on strikes. And now the Tigers down to their final out.
Been so good up there all afternoon. That 4-seamer just got such great action, ride to it. Hard to lay off, Brant. It really is as a hitter. You see it, you think elevated, I'm going to get to it, and it just keeps riding.
Tristan Becerra pinch hitting for McClatty. The set has started an opening day for the Tigers on Friday. Won the team's Most Improved Player Award a year ago. Big jump in production this past season. The 0-1. And now the Tigers down to their final strike. On the verge of a third straight run rule here in Arlington. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strikes him out to end the game. Another strikeout from McCausland, and Ole Miss secures a winning weekend here in Arlington.
Wow, what an offensive performance by the Rebels today. You remember the first question you asked at the beginning of the broadcast? How do they bounce back off of last night's loss? I tell you what, that is an impressive, emotional, and physical bounce back by the Rebels. And what an offensive performance, showing power, showing base hits the other way, good defense. I mean, all-around great performance and a great relief, or starting performance by Nichols, and then a great relief performance as well. So by McCausland, they needed to come back after last night. They did with a great game today.
And what an impressive weekend, too, for Ole Miss, taking 2 of 3 against this competition.
Yeah, I mean, look, and you take 2 out of 3 in this weekend, your first weekend, and particularly if you're an SEC team, knowing that you're, well, ACC too, by the way, but knowing that you're going to go play that schedule, that you're going to have that gauntlet of, in 2 weeks from now, when you start, 3 weeks from now, when you start conference play.
An offensive day for the Rebels, banging out 4 home runs for head coach Mike Bianco. Ole Miss 13 hits today after getting shut out last night. As you said, what a bounce back effort for Ole Miss. They open up the weekend with a win over Arizona. A tough run rule loss last night, come back with a run rule victory today. You go back on the way the weekend started, it was all about pitching and Hunter Elliott.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. And ultimately, today for Ole Miss, it was about pitching. I mean, look, you hold that Clemson lineup to 5 runs. I mean, that's such a talented offensive lineup. And so it was about pitching, too. And how about the freshman Federico and the day he has to start off his college career today?
When you mentioned the pitching for Ole Miss, Will McCausland goes 3 2/3, just 1 run given up against that lineup as you described. Potent for Clemson, 8 strikeouts here today. Coming up next, the finale here for the Shriners Children's College Showdown between 17th ranked Oklahoma State, 19th ranked Texas, a battle between the Big 12 and the SEC. Looking forward to that one coming up on deck.
Yeah, both teams 1-1. Right, somebody's going home with a losing record coming out of the opening weekend, and 2 teams that know a lot about each other and has a lot of history of playing against each other when they were in separate conferences a long time ago, and then obviously in the Big 12 recently.
Longhorns 10-0 winners over Ole Miss last night after losing in heartbreaking fashion on Friday against Louisville. Oklahoma State dropped the opener against Clemson. On Friday, Cowboys came back to win yesterday over Louisville 12-3. As Ty said, both teams have split 1-1. And for Clemson, too, by the way, Ty, even though they did lose today, it's a winning weekend for the Tigers as well.
Yeah, it's a talented team. It is. I like the ingredients, as I like to refer to it. I mean, their pieces, offensively, defensively, they're athletic. They can run when they need to. They've got power. And some of the arms that you saw today are going to be guys that are going to get, throughout the season, you're going to have to eat up some big innings for them. Certainly the talent was there, the breakers and the velo and all that. I mean, sometimes baseball can be this way. And today it was for Clemson, and quite a turnaround from yesterday for the Rebels of Ole Miss.
Coming up shortly, Leanza Peroni is going to be visiting with Luke Hill, our player of the game. Luke Hill, what a day today. Couple of home runs, a triple. He walked twice, scored 4 times, drives in 5. As now we go down to Leanza, joined by Luke Hill, today's player of the game for the Ole Miss Rebels.
Luke, after a tough loss last night, you returned the favor today. What was the conversation after last night and the mindset coming into today to make sure that you could show up and respond?
You know, it's just our dugout versus everybody. We got to walk up with a little bit of swagger, a little bit of juice. We know how good of a baseball team we are, and we can hit a little bit. So I'm glad we showed out today and got a dub.
Took a couple days to get the offense warmed up, but you're right, the bats were swinging today. Your first multi-homer game in your career. How much fun and what is the energy like in that dugout when the bats get hot?
I mean, it's unbelievable. Shout out to Clem for getting us right with the scouting report. And all glory to God. That was amazing. It was a lot of fun, and energy's contagious. So we got to keep this thing going.
This weekend was bigger than baseball. What was it like getting to play for your team captain, Dominique, and all of the incredible kids at Shriners Children's?
I mean, it was an absolute experience. I appreciate all of it. I know all the guys do as well. He came to our practice for a couple times, and it was awesome seeing him there. And it gave us a little bit of energy seeing him in the dugout, and we know we had to go get a dub for him.
Top 25 win today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Leanza. Good to wrap things up for us here, Ty. And again, an impressive win for Ole Miss.
It was. Like they had to come back and win today after yesterday. Good weekend for them. I think they discovered a lot of things out of their bullpen. They certainly discovered something in their offense, and they may have found their leadoff hitter throughout today's game as well.
Final score of this one, Ole Miss 15, Clemson 5. Coming up next, the final game for the Shriners Children's College Showdown, Oklahoma State against Texas. Until then, for Ty Harrington, I'm Brant Freeman. Signing off here from Arlington. Ole Miss a winner in 7 innings as they secure a winning weekend to open up the 2025 season.